Hello, Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's go to the next devotee, Rajaiyer. Rajaiyer was known as the postmaster. He was a simple and deeply religious man, devoted to singing bhajans and other devotional songs. He came to Bhagavan in 1911 when Bhagavan was in Virupaksha cave. By nature, he was a wanderer who went wherever his feet took him. He stayed with Bhagavan whenever he came to see him, and his own aunt who lived in Tiruvannamalai. Even as early as 1911, this woman discerned Bhagavan's greatness. It was her custom to make sweets and offer them to Bhagavan at Virupaksha cave. Whenever Raja Iyer was there, he would tell her, I will take it to Bhagavan. And so she would send the sweets to him. When Raja Iyer first met Bhagavan and gave these sweets as offerings, he could not comprehend anything of the spiritual teaching of Bhagavan. However, he did appreciate the experience. He said, I like the harmony of the evening hours at Virupaksha cave, the aromatic breeze of the holy hill, and the stillness emanating from Bhagavan were indescribable. I enjoyed drenching myself in all that natural beauty. Added to this, whatever was brought to Bhagavan was shared equally with the others. Since Raja Iyer was a nomad, there were times when he could not get enough food. Therefore, Bhagavan would keep some food items for Raja Iyer, knowing that he enjoyed eating. Any time he went to Virupaksha cave or Kanda ashramam, he always got something to eat. Raja Iyer commented, I am not at all ashamed to confess that I went to Bhagavan only to eat sweets. One day, when Raja Iyer was going to Kanda ashramam, he met HML carrying food to Bhagavan. At the same time, a group of devotees were coming down from Kanda ashramam looking terribly disappointed. HML looked at the expression on their faces and asked, What happened? The group replied, We went to see Ramana Maharshi, but we could not find him. HML exclaimed, What? You could not find him? They replied, No, we couldn't. She then asked them, Was nobody there? The group said, There was only one person. He was arranging some stones and patching up a wall. Other than him, there was nobody. HML said, Did you ask him where Bhagavan was? They replied, Yes. He said Bhagavan had gone up the hill. Perplexed, HML and Raja Iyer inquired, What did the person look like? The group answered, He was wearing a loin cloth and had a cloth wrapped around his head. To this, HML and Raja Iyer asked, What about his complexion? They replied, He was very fair. Both HML and Raja Iyer understood that the person was none other than Bhagavan. HML and Raja Iyer told the group, Come, we will take you to Bhagavan. By the time they reached Kanda ashramam, Bhagavan had completed whatever work he had been doing and had returned to his usual place. He was sitting so serenely that when the group entered and saw him, they immediately said, This is not the man. It was somebody else. At this, Bhagavan laughed. Eshamal then confronted Bhagavan in the presence of Raja Iyer. Bhagavan, why did you say that Bhagavan had gone up the hill? These people were so disappointed. Bhagavan asked Eshamal, Do you want me to put a placard on my forehead saying that I am Bhagavan? The point is that Bhagavan admitted that he was Bhagavan when he asked whether he should place a placard on his forehead indicating that he was indeed Bhagavan. When Raja Iyer narrated this incident to me, it was both amusing and revealing. In 1927, during one of his wanderings, Raja Iyer came to a small city called Reddypalayam. By this time, Bhagavan had already come down the hill to Ramana Ashramam. Since there was no electricity in those days, a devotee of Bhagavan arranged for a punka or an improvised fan. This consisted of a long cloth attached to a light board suspended from the ceiling. By pulling a long rope attached to the fan, The cloth would circulate cool air. One night, Bhagavan appeared in Raja Iyer's dream. Bhagavan was seated in the hall under the punka. When Raja Iyer entered into the hall, Bhagavan said, "Come and pull this punka." So, in his dream, he pulled the punka, and Bhagavan enjoyed the cool breeze. A few days later, Raja Iyer went to Tiruvannamalai. When he entered Bhagavan's old hall, he saw exactly the same punka that he had seen in his dream. He prostrated before Bhagavan, and Bhagavan said, "Raja, go and pull the punka." Raja Iyer did what he was told. 5 minutes later, Bhagavan called out to him and said, "Raja, that is enough." Raja Iyer felt a great sense of responsibility and understood that Bhagavan wanted him to serve. Bhagavan had never before asked anyone to either pull the punka or stop it. Since Bhagavan seldom actually told anyone to do anything, Raja Iyer took this as a sign that Bhagavan wanted him to serve him. He came to Ramana Ashramam permanently. When Raja Iyer started staying in the present Ramana Ashramam, he was very often invited to sing bhajans. There are different kinds of bhajans sung about different deities. For example, on the birthdays of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna, bhajans are sung throughout the night. Sometimes an oil lamp is lit and placed in the middle of the room. People go round the lamp as the bhajans are sung. Raja Iyer was once invited to participate in a bhajan ceremony on the occasion of Lord Rama's birthday. Sri Ramanavami, he communicated this to Bhagavan. "Bhagavan, they have invited me and I will have to go there." Usually Bhagavan would nod his head to indicate his approval, but on that day he didn't do so. Just then, Chinnaswamy, the Sarva Adhikari, came into the hall and said, "Somebody has sent money with a specific request that Sri Rama's birthday be celebrated in Ramana Ashramam in the same manner in which it is celebrated in his village." Bhagavan looked at Raja Iyer and said, "See, you will stay and do the bhajans here." So on that day, Raja Iyer performed the bhajans at the ashramam. The bhajans went on for 6 or 7 hours into the night. Raja Iyer often became ecstatic when singing the bhajans. Bhagavan too enjoyed the bhajans in his own way. Bhagavan did not participate physically in the bhajans by singing and dancing, but he would comment in Tamil, "Paithyam, they are all mad people." And then he would add very significantly, "How I wish everyone was mad the same way." I too have had the luck of seeing Raja Iyer sing and dance. It was wonderful. One day, Chinnaswamy told him, "You can neither stay inside the ashramam nor eat here unless you do some kind of service." Raja Iyer went to Bhagavan and said, "Bhagavan, listen to what Chinnaswamy is saying." Bhagavan suggested, "Raja, why don't you make idlis in the morning?" Idlis or rice cakes were made in the ashramam every morning as it is to this day. Raja Iyer said, "Bhagavan, I do not know how to make idlis." Bhagavan said, "I will teach you." Making idlis was not easy because it involved a lot of work. Rice and lentils had to be ground the previous evening and it had to be done manually since there was no machinery. That evening Bhagavan said, "Raja, come," and taught him. In fact, Bhagavan himself ground the rice and lentils for many days with Raja Iyer to teach him. The next morning, Raja Iyer told Bhagavan nervously, "Bhagavan, I do not know how to steam the idlis." Bhagavan volunteered, "I will come and help you, Raja." Bhagavan showed him how to cook the idlis. But the next day, to Raja Iyer's dismay, he found that all the idlis he had made had crumbled. He dashed to the hall desperately and reported, "Bhagavan, all the idlis have crumbled and I do not know what to do. I am very nervous." Bhagavan asked him, "Before making these idlis, I told you that you should make an offering to the fire. Did you make a pledge that you will offer the first set of idlis to the fire?" Raja Iyer admitted, "Bhagavan, I forgot to do it." Bhagavan said, "Go and do that." Tell the fire that the first set of idlis will be offered to it. Raja Iyer told me he continued to make this offering even after Bhagavan passed away. He continued making idlis till the late 70s, and the first offering was always to the fire. This was the same Raja Iyer who visited Bhagavan at Kanda Ashramam and Virupaksha cave because he was fond of eating. He still loved eating so much that he would go into the kitchen and eat anything, whether cooked or raw. One day a devotee complained to Bhagavan saying, Bhagavan, what is all this? The man is uncontrollable. He eats whatever he wants. Bhagavan smilingly said, You are complaining about Raja. The devotee said, Yes, Bhagavan, it is not according to the rules of the ashrama. Bhagavan questioned, Are you sure that it is a mistake on the part of Raja Iyer? The devotee said, Yes, Bhagavan. Bhagavan continued, Can you be clearer? Why do you also not go into the kitchen and eat like that? The devotee answered, No, Bhagavan, I cannot do that. I just cannot. Bhagavan told the devotee, It is not his constant eating that is bothering you, but the fact that you are not able to go inside and eat as often. In this manner, Bhagavan taught the devotee that there are no others. Our opinion about others is based upon our own shortcomings. The devotee was unable to eat as much as he wanted because he was afraid of Chinnaswamy, and therefore he was complaining. But Raja Iyer was not afraid of Chinnaswamy. Raja Iyer told me years later that he had received many a berating from Chinnaswamy, but this did not deter him from going into the kitchen and eating. Bhagavan then advised the devotee, There are no others. Whatever you see outside is your own reflection. Your mind is creating all this. In 1937, the Ramana Ashramam post office was started and Raja Iyer was made its first postmaster. The post office was near the cowshed. On the first day of its operation, Raja Iyer asked Bhagavan to come to the post office. When Bhagavan came, Raja Iyer gave him the seal and requested him to put the seal on all the letters received. He requested Bhagavan to come again in the evening so that all the letters that were being dispatched could also receive the seal from Bhagavan. So on the first day in Ramana Ashramam post office, all the letters were blessed by Bhagavan since he put the seal on all of them. There is a famous temple in Tiruvannamalai called Pachayamman that the villagers frequented. In his early days, Bhagavan too had stayed there. Raja Iyer was so devoted to Bhagavan that when Bhagavan had sarcoma, he felt that the vermilion powder from this shrine could cure Bhagavan. This was intense belief of all the villagers and Raja Iyer. So Raja Iyer performed a puja in the temple in the name of Bhagavan and took the prasad to him. But the doctors had given strict instructions that no one be allowed inside Bhagavan's room. Bhagavan was inside the room with the doctors and a few other people. Raja Iyer lamented to himself, I am unable to give this to my Bhagavan. If only he takes this prasad, he will be cured. A few days later, someone suddenly called Raja Iyer and said, Bhagavan is calling you. Raja Iyer, who was constantly carrying the prasad in his pocket, was surprised. When he went to see Bhagavan, Bhagavan looked at him and inquired, Raja, do you have anything to give me? Raja Iyer remembered the prasad and gave and said, Bhagavan, this is the prasad from Pachayamman temple. I pray that you get cured. Bhagavan, please take this prasad. Bhagavan smeared some of the prasad on his forehead and said, Give it to all. He also added, This Pachayamman is very powerful and this prasad has real power. Raja Iyer told me that Bhagavan knew that every devotee could feel the love which Bhagavan had for him, and Bhagavan knew how to communicate this love unfailingly. Raja Iyer used to look after the Westerners who visited the ashram. Bhagavan appreciated the way Raja Iyer performed his duty. When I came to Ramana Ashramam in 1960 until 1972 or so, it was Raja Iyer who instructed me on how to conduct myself in the presence of Westerners and how to take care of them. Hugo Meyer and I thought that since Raja Iyer was so passionate about food, he would suffer a lot in his last days. We thought that he would constantly demand something to eat. But an extraordinary thing happened. 1 week before he passed away, he suddenly stopped eating. 2 days before his end, he said, I will drink only water. It is not that he had any kind of disease. He just died of old age without any disease. In my own experience, I have only seen 2 people die of old age, where the body simply shrinks. The other person was Sama Tata. Okay, folks, let's continue in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Puppodu.